felt like I was this empty box and everything was being thrown into and it was just everything was rumbled and shaky inside. So whenever I needed to remember something I had learned, I know I had learned it, but for me to remember it, it felt like I had to pull out everything from the box, turn the box over, and find the little piece I was trying to find. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Esther's Diaries here, and today I'll be attending to 10 questions that I get very often on my channel about moving to Germany and getting into the system as a nurse and how all of that works. So the first question goes as follows: how intensive should my German course be so that I can finish my B2 in 8 months like you did? Okay, so my own German course, I have done a whole video about how this worked out. Please check it out. But I'm just going to give you a rundown or a summary of it. Every day or 5 times a week, I was in school. It was a physical school. I went 5 times a week, 4 hours a day with 30 to 45 minutes break in between. We didn't have any public holidays. No, we had public holidays, but no school break. So it ran even through summer and winter and all of that. There were no summer or winter breaks. And you must also factor in that to be able to finish on time, you have to have your own personal study time. And this will be hours of study time. I've done another video about how I learned German fast in 8 months. And you should totally see that, because then you have to find fun ways to learn German. You have to find ways to inculcate it. Even now, I still do things that keep my German up. Like I play games, that help me find new words, or games that just, help me break down complex sentences. So this is something you can totally try and work on, and it works, trust me. Over to my second question. It goes: I heard about a law that permits immigrants in Germany to apply for citizenship after 5 years instead of the current 8 years. Is this true? See, okay, let's put it this way. Yes, it is true. There is a law that should allow immigrants to be able to apply for citizenship after 5 years, and in some other cases after 3 years. There's a law, but this law is still under deliberation. It has been under deliberation since December 2022. There are updates on it, there are readings and corrections and things going on, and clauses being added to it, but it is not yet in motion. The moment it comes in motion, I'll be the one to tell you guys about it. So don't forget to follow me on Instagram, because those kind of news, I will rather post them on Instagram, where I can easily post short content and people get to see it quicker. Over to my third question. It says, are nurses entitled to pension in Germany? Oh yes. Working as a nurse in Germany, you are entitled to pension currently after the age of 65. Yes, you are entitled to your pension. When you get paid in the month, there's a percentage of your salary that already goes into your pension fund, and it is covered by law. So you have to pay for it. It's not something you decide to pay or not to pay. You already are paying for it if you're working now in Germany, unless maybe you're working below a certain bracket, or you're doing a mini job where you're earning even less. Then you are not expected to pay that 100%. But if you're working in Germany, you're gainfully employed in Germany, yes, you are already putting in money in your pension fund, and after the age of 65, it will be calculated and you'll be getting a pension for the rest of your life. So hello Queen Esther, if I use the Gesundheitspersonalnetz agency to procure a job and move to Germany, do I have to pay monthly contributions to the agency? If yes, how much? This question. So guys, the answer to the question is actually yes and no. And this is because there are lots of factors that surround it. Usually the answer should be no. But in a case where you're owing the agency some fee, you will have to pay that up. So you don't expect that after owing some fee, you didn't pay everything, or we give you some sort of scholarship that just allows you to finish the program, move to Germany, and then pay us later. You don't just assume that payment kind of just flies away. You have to then make that payment when you move to Germany. Understood? Secondly, depending on the country you're registering from or you join the agency from, on your contract, it is written if you're being charged 100% and how much you will have to pay when you move to Germany. So before you sign your contract, please read through it. This contribution to the agency, or paying up or paying forward or paying backward, all of this is written in your contract. So please read your contract before you sign, so that you know exactly what you're doing. Like I said, this is very country specific, especially those of us coming from West Africa. Please look at your contract properly before you sign, so that you are sure of how much you'll be paying for how long, and when you're expected to finish that payment. Thank you. So over to question number 5. And this person asked, from your personal experience, would you advise me to get married before relocating to Germany, or wait and get married after? Hey, see, they say one thing. Now, there are 2 people you cannot advise. 1, somebody that is in love. 2, somebody that is in love. So, because of this is a very emotional issue and is very personal, I'm not going to advise you directly on what to do, but I'm going to kind of show you what the factors are that are likely to affect this decision. First of all, you have to consider if your spouse is willing to move with you, or you want to keep doing a long distance relationship. That's a huge issue. Does your spouse have an occupation that is easily translatable in German? Is it something that he or she can do in Germany? Are they willing to learn the language, at least the basics, the A1, A2 levels? Are they willing to do that? And if you have all of this in check, then probably we can start talking about the modalities of doing this. And in the modalities, I would like you to know that when you come to Germany, you don't first of all get like a resident permit card straight off. You first get like an etiquette, like something that looks like a visa, pasted on your
God, I love you.
on your passport. And with this, you're able to work and function in Germany for a couple of months until you can get a card. Now, depending on where you're living in Germany, factors that are affecting your coming, your work contract, and if it's limited or unlimited, a lot of factors come into this thing. But depending on how this goes, you are likely, or you might be able to get a residence permit card after. And I would advise you to kind of plan that between 6 months in a very good situation and 1 year, when I'm just saying 1 year if all things are equal. So between 6 months and 1 year, you're likely to get your residence permit card. In my case, I got it after 2 years. My first residence permit card, I got it in 2 years. And that was because my first work contract was not unlimited. It was limited. It was for like a couple of months and a couple of months and a couple of months there. And that was also depending on my passport. My passport was about expiring at the same time. So because it was expiring in about six months to 1 year, around that time, they were not able to give me a contract that exceeded that time. So, I had this season where I was having very, very short working contracts and all of that. And that's probably and very likely to be the reason why I didn't get a permanent residence at the time. Again, I am living in a more industrialized city, in a bigger city. And in those bigger cities, let's just say that they are more economical with giving out residence permits and all of that there. It's not very easy. But if you're living in a smaller city, it is easier for you to get all of this done and get your residence permit faster, So you might want to consider all of that. So with that being said, I would boldly say, should I say boldly? But I will say with some sort of assurance that you are likely to be able to invite your spouse after about a year of living here, or let's just say randomly 6 months. Like I said, you can get your residence permit in 6 months. This does not apply to those who have a blue card. A blue card is a totally different ball game. It is so much better than the residence permit. It's more like a permanent residence when you move to Germany. And people who move into Germany as experts or IT experts and engineers and all of that have the possibility to get a blue card. And with a blue card, you're able to invite their family straight up right over. But if you're moving in as at now, as at the time of making this video, if you're moving in as a health professional, you are not necessarily considered an expert. Maybe, and I'm saying health professional, I mean nursing. Maybe because nursing training in Germany is still an Ausbildung, which is like a vocational training. So they don't give you the blue card when you move in. They give you like a residence permit when you're moving. So maybe that's why. But anyway, with all of this being said, you're more likely to be able to invite your spouse after 6 months and 1 year. And depending on when you get an appointment, it's going to take another time and get the documents together. And when your spouse finally learns the German or learns the German language and all of that, if you can factor all of this into one, you're probably able to get your spouse here in the 2nd year of living here. Probably. I can't be sure about that. Guys, if you have not subscribed to this channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please just look down. There's a subscription button. Press it. Yes, right now. Press it. Another pressing it. Please kindly share this video to those who you know need to see this, because I sincerely don't want to answer this question again. Because if you ask me again, I'll come to your house and find you. You're not gonna like it. So please just don't forget to share this video and like. Question number 6, which is kind of my favorite.
It's about to go down.
So it says, what would you say are the 2 main hacks we employed while learning the language? 2 things I like to say. First one, basically, is the physical one. Like I said, I've made a whole video about this and all the arsenals I put in place to make it work out for me, which is playing games, watching movies, reading, writing, a lot of writing. It's a lot of it. You should see that video. I explained everything on that video. I did.
Do you trust me or do you not?
I just think you should find fun ways of learning the language. For me right now, to improve my German, I play a lot of games, like I said. So yeah, it's something that you want to try out. To add to that, I believe strongly that when you're learning a new language, learning the culture is a big part of it. It's a huge part of it, because then you understand why these people talk the way they do. You get, and in doing that, you will have to discover the patterns of the language, the patterns of their culture. If you're able to put this language in patterns, I feel like you will learn faster. At least that was my own case. So at first, when I was learning the language, it felt like someone was just throwing information into a box. Everything was just in the box, and everything was just everywhere. And every time I needed to remember something, I put everything out and scatter everything in order to understand in order to remember what I was taught. Until after a while, it just came to me that I needed to pattern what I was learning. And by the time I started patterning it in my mind, it got easier. So finding that pattern is very important. And finding this pattern could actually also mean a spiritual journey for some of you. It was sort of a spiritual journey for me, because I know I had to pray about it. It was difficult for me to find. And then I will move into the spiritual aspect. Like I said, there were 2 things. One is the physical. I've explained the spiritual aspect. I remember someone was asking me one time, like in my 2nd year of living in Germany, and she was like, "Oh, you're actually advancing really fast. Wow, how are you doing it?" I told her, if you can speak in tongues, you can speak any language. I know it feels like an overshoot, or it sounds like an overshoot, but that was actually my experience. In case if you're hearing any sound, please ignore it.
No, I didn't hear anything.
I'm living with another woman in this house. To buttress this point, there are actually 2 scriptures that I like to hang on to, and I'll just put them on the screen while I read them. The first one is Acts chapter 2, verse from 7 to 8, and it reads that they were surprised and they said to each other, "These men who are speaking our languages are all from Galilee, but each one of us can hear them speak in the language of our own home country. How can this happen?" Now, this is a Pentecost story, and it was totally talking about how during the Pentecost, when the Holy Spirit fell on the disciples, they were all speaking languages of the people around them. So everybody who were there, were hearing their own different languages. Even while these apostles, even when these apostles didn't even know these languages, or they didn't even understand what they were saying. The next scripture for me will be Acts 19, verse 6. Then Paul put his hand on each believer's head. When he did this, the Holy Spirit came down on them, and they spoke in different languages, and they spoke messages from God. So I strongly believe that if you put your mind in prayer and you open up yourself like that to God, He's able to help your mind comprehend a new language better and faster, which was part of my experience. I really hope is that it becomes part of your own experience. But even when I say this, I am not downplaying the part of doing the hard work. The hard work is really important, but at the same time, to give you some balance and give you some panache, I feel praying and making it a spiritual journey will make it a more wholesome journey. So these days, when I speak German with people or even with Germans, the first thing they think about me is, were you born in Germany? Because the accent is not even there.
I can't find it.
Like you don't even hear she's an outsider accent. And these things come from partly practice and again the spiritual work. So that's my hack for you there. Question number 7, it says, is it possible to earn on the side in Germany as a nurse? Yes, why not? Yes, you can totally earn on the side. I made a video some time ago about mini jobs in Germany. So mini jobs are also open for nurses. You can totally do a mini job. In order not to get taxed on your mini job, you should not be above 520 euros in the month. But if you don't mind being taxed on your money, and I'll be surprised why you don't mind, but if you don't mind being taxed on your extra money, you can also shoot for the skies and shoot for the stars and earn more. And yeah, why not? Question number 8, it says, is it advisable to get pregnant during my Ausbildung? Hey, God. If I do, how will this affect me? My sister, it will affect you. It's gotta affect you. Like, okay, no, I shouldn't move to my alter ego too quickly. But seriously, if you believe that you need to get pregnant during this time, probably because of time constraint, your age, medical reasons, whatever it is, family decisions, family process, whatever it is for you, it is fine. Good enough. The nursing Ausbildung process in Germany is not overly strict. This means that you can actually get pregnant during your Ausbildung, but then you will have to get off for about a year and come back after that to complete your Ausbildung, and that will not necessarily complicate your study. It will complicate it a little because then you have to work a little more do a little more paperwork to make sure you are also earning while you're home. But it is possible, it is doable, and you can do it. If you ask me personally, if you don't have to get pregnant, I would advise you wait it out and don't get pregnant and wait until your last year, so that you probably get pregnant 6 months to your graduation. Yeah, sort of. If you don't have problems with writing exams while pregnant, I don't think I want to do that either. But if you feel like you can do well writing your exams while pregnant, then why not? Then do that. I know people who did that, and right after their graduations, a few months later, they had their babies. So yes, you probably can do that. By the way, there's actually a research that says or that shows that pregnant women have higher IQ than they had when they were not pregnant. So probably being pregnant might be a perk. But don't forget to ask your nursing school admin before you get pregnant. Please, if you're planning to get pregnant, you should actually talk to your your course advisor, the person in charge of your class, the person in charge of your school, whoever it is who is in charge in your school. You should also talk to them, and so that they can also discuss these modalities with you, so that you're not in a journey all by yourself. Question number 9. We're almost at the end of this video. How about if one has a certificate in midwifery or school of health from outside the EU? Okay, I'm very sure of this. So the system currently, I like to say currently because sometimes I wish that things change, but currently the system in Germany does not have an opening for midwives or health workers that learned outside Europe. Yes, or community health worker, all of that. It doesn't accommodate that. It's only able to accommodate nurses and doctors and pharmacists for now, or dentists for now. Every other health worker kind of falls outside this box. And because of that, we are not able to accommodate you into this. And because of that, the agency, when I say the agency, I mean the Gesundheits Personalnet, they can offer you 2 things. First thing they can offer you is an opportunity to learn nursing. So that means we give an opportunity to enroll for the nursing training here in Germany and start a nursing training here in Germany so that you can function as a health worker here in Germany. Another option we may have for you is to choose the caregiver pathway. So there's this new opening coming up now, very new now in Germany, which is the caregiver pathway. A lot of you must have heard it when talking about the UK and some other English-speaking countries, but yes, now it is coming to Germany. Before now, previously it was only open to people who already lived in Germany, but now it is getting open to even people who don't live in Germany currently but are willing to move to Germany to work as healthcare givers, and it's probably going to be called the caregiver visa or caregiver pathway. I'm not sure what it's going to be called, but it's something that is coming up soon, and you should stay on our website or just write us an email on our website, and we will let you know how this is going to work. And on to my last question for today. Yes, question number 10. So it says, question number 10, and it says, do I need a blocked account? Answer: no, you don't need a blocked account. If you are moving to Germany to work as a nurse, to apply for a nursing school, or not just as a nurse, as a doctor or whatever, you do not need a blocked account. But if you're coming to study, I mean, you want to apply for university and all of that, yes, you need a blocked account, because university studies are usually not paid. If you don't have any social benefits helping you out, they're not paid. So you have to support yourself through that, and for that you need a blocked account. But if you're coming into Germany to work as a nurse or to do the nursing training, you are going to be covered by the stipends in your nursing training. And if you're coming in as a nurse, you already get paid in the beginning, so you don't need a blocked account at all. If you don't know what a blocked account is, it's usually the amount of money that the government here expects you to have in your account, which should be able to sustain you for a year. Yes. And for now, that amount is somewhere around 11,208 euros for the year, and it's going to be split into 934 euros for the month. Yes, for each month for the next 6 months. And that's supposed to be your upkeep money for the year. So that's what it is. So because when you come in as a nurse, you're already going to start getting paid, we don't even really necessarily need that. You see, we don't really need that. So thank you so much for tuning into my channel today. I hope you love watching this video as much as it was fun recording it. Don't forget to add your questions in the comment section below. Write me up on Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook. I don't really like Facebook, but anyway, you can write me up there. And in case if I reply a little late, please apologies, because my Facebook messages are overloaded, and that's the reason why I come really late and that's the reason why I don't reply to Facebook messages on time. But you can also write me on Twitter. Yes, it's quite what am I saying quite now? But you can also write me on Twitter, and I'll be responding to you there. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you on my next video. See you guys. Bye. Mwah.